Today's presenters are Andy Oliver, Lucidworks Technical Enablement Manager, and Chao Han, Lucidworks Senior Data Scientist. Andy's going to get started and kick off the session today, so thanks for joining us today, Andy.
Thanks, Aaliyah. So as you mentioned, I'm Andy Oliver. Today I'm going to talk to you about some of the new features and general changes that you'll find in Lucidworks Fusion 3.1. Before we do that, I'd like to talk to you about Lucidworks in general. As mentioned, with me is also data scientist Chao Han. She's one of the unicorns who knows all the maths behind machine learning, and she's going to take over when we get to that. So today you guys get to meet a real unicorn. So Lucidworks is a San Francisco-based company with offices all around the world. The company is centered around search with a heavy emphasis on machine learning. The company contributes the bulk of the code to the Apache Solr project. Solr is the core search engine behind our product, Lucidworks Fusion. Why is search so important? Well, it's pretty simple. If you can't quickly and accurately find your information at scale, then you can't sell more stuff, you can't make your customers happy, you can't build whatever it is that you're trying to build. But a lot of companies haven't gotten so far as to fully deploy a full search solution with modern capabilities. And so that's really where Lucidworks Fusion 3.1 comes in. So today's webinar is all about Fusion and our recently released 3.1 version. Fusion, one of the biggest things about any kind of search project or trying to make your data findable is making sure that you can connect to your data to actually be able to index it. So Fusion has scores of connectors to connect from everything from Salesforce to Google Drive to Office 365, let alone, of course, the basics like your local file system, file share, or your relational or NoSQL database. So you can get your data indexed. Fusion also packs a lot of powerful features into a graphical UI that allows you to tune queries, index processes, and more. There's a lot to do for do-it-yourselfers in IT. While that's great, it does mean you have a lot to maintain yourself. Not only do you have a lot to maintain, but you also have to write a lot of stuff if you roll your own. This is typical in a search architecture using Solr and Spark. So Fusion simplifies a lot of the deployments and gives you some capabilities sort of wrapped and set up out of the box. You still have to do things like configure how you want to apply natural language processing, NLP, to your data collection, or how you want alerts to be sent and to whom, but you don't have to write all the code or set up all of the glue code to make that happen. Additionally, Fusion manages and simplifies the moving parts behind search. Obviously, you're going to have to supply some of that of your own models and rules for how to process signals for your application or how to apply machine learning to your data, but the power is there at your fingertips already when you use Fusion. You don't have to spend all your time figuring out how Solr glues to Spark or any of that kind of nonsense. So with Fusion, you can get search and search analytics, a REST API exposing all of this, and end-to-end security, and a well-thought-out system for high availability and scale that you have to build and you don't have to manage all by yourself. Okay, so if you're not new to a Lucidworks webinar, then you just saw the basic intro to Fusion that we always show you, and so you're asking, all right, what's new in 3.1 already? Okay, so the first thing is with every major release from Fusion, you usually end up with major component upgrades. So this version is no different. We use, in this version, Solr 6.5.1 and Spark 2.1.1. Obviously, Zookeeper's been upgraded as well. Fusion's known for tipping the scales a little bit on the download and runtime size front. This release doesn't bundle all of the connectors out of the box. That was part of the size. So when you're not connecting to 50 different things, then all of those other connectors were really just in your way. So now we bundle the basic connectors out of the box, but you can just add the ones that you want. So the basic ones like File, JDBC, and Web are still included out of the box, of course. There's also new to Fusion 3.1 an Object Explorer, which lets you explore the objects and linkages that Fusion manages. You can explore these types of objects with Object Explorers, Spark jobs, collections, really anything. You can also easily navigate to the part of the UI that manages those things by right-clicking them in the Object Explorer. We can all agree that objectifying people may be bad, but objectifying data or metadata, well, that's a pretty good thing, because it lets you figure out how do all these things relate to my collection or my data source or my query pipeline, and see how it all connects together in sort of a logical model. There's new query analytics. You can use them to find out a whole lot more about your queries, collections, and more. There are jobs that dump to, these are basically jobs that dump to a collection. There's a great blog on our website by Lasha Marla, one of the engineers that works on it that I've referenced there. If you just go to our website and look at the recent 3.1 posts, you'll find Query Explorer jobs in Fusion 3.1. And it kind of gives you a step-by-step. So I certainly recommend taking a look at that if you haven't. The output from the Query Explorer goes into a set of documents, basically collections, basically a set of documents that have metadata or data about your data, if you will. So on this slide, I'm just sort of showing you some stats on e-commerce signals collection, but then I'm also showing you some information about a phrase. The HP touchpad query also has another query sort of related to it, which is a misspelling HP touchpad. And so you can get these sort of informational queries that help you tune your search and figure out what things are going on there. And Chow's going to talk a little bit more detail about that. The blob manager in Fusion is where you'll be installing those drivers, so those connectors. There's also other things that are stored in the blobs. Before, you had to use an API to get to them. Now you also have this blob explorer and the graphical user interface. So it's not quite as structural as, say, a new GUI, but if you're using SharePoint Online, there's now a connector for that. So if you're hosting your own, you'll continue to use the connector that you've been using all along. But if you're a cloudy sort of person, then this is for you. There are new APIs in this release. Mainly, these have to do with the restructuring of the scheduler from the jobs it manages, and the new APIs for managing objects from the Object Explorer. Also, some of the other APIs have been improved or slightly modified, either along those lines or to give you more control. And this is a big one: indexing, distributed indexing. So indexing is now distributable. You can now invoke your pipeline, your index pipeline, on a different instance from the one holding your connector. Speaking of connectors, there have also been some enhancements there as well. These are mainly about performance and better defining what to crawl or when to time out. The open source library that Fusion uses to parse a lot of documents, Tika, is kind of a rubber mallet that can parse everything, but sometimes you need more of a scalpel. For this reason, there's a new HTML parser that isn't Tika-based. There's also an XML parser that can parse one XML file into multiple documents in your collection. Some of our favorite query pipeline stages have changed their identity. This is, in some cases, just to be more specific or accurate or avoid confusion with new functionality. In the case of a recommend similar, it's to be more consistent with Solr or what people see on web pages. You know, when you look at a web page, it doesn't usually say recommend similar. It says something like more like this. And more on the security front, you can do SSL from Fusion to Solr, and you can use Kerberos or basic auth from the front all the way to the back. How do you like them apples? So some pretty important features of Fusion 3.1 are machine learning capabilities used to enable cognitive search. And so I've asked Chao Han, our data deity, to come and talk about that. So please welcome Chao.
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, everyone. This is Chao Han. I'm from Lucidworks. I'm a senior data scientist. I'd like to take a few minutes to have a brief introduction of the several new functionalities around machine learning. So in the past few years, Lucidworks invested in a lot of effort on the data science and the data engineer side to build out-of-the-box machine learning modules to help improve search experience. So in previous Fusion versions, we already have a strong signal capturing functionality that can automatically capture and aggregate signal like queries, clicks, and views, and store those signals in a Solr collection. And in 3.1, we built a bunch of machine learning Spark jobs that can directly connect to the data capturing pipeline to make it a very streamlined analysis process, from importing data, performing analysis, saving model, until implementing model in production at both indexing and query time, and also provide statistics to help understand the results in UI. So the machine learning capabilities in 3.1 we provide include both supervised learning and unsupervised learning methods. On the supervised learning side, we have a very powerful recommendation engine to provide personalized search experience. And we also have query intent classification and learning to rank models to improve search relevance. On the unsupervised learning side, we have a comprehensive automatic document clustering module that also provides capabilities of automatic anomaly detection, cluster labeling, and topic detection. On NLP side, as Andrew mentioned before, we have the Query Explorer, provides NLP functionalities such as synonym discovery and query expansion, where a neural network method called word-to-vec. We also have automatic freeze detection using log likelihood. Two more related analytical jobs that already exist in previous version is click, stream, auto-tuning relevance and analysis modules, and auto-arm bandit experimentation for A/B testing. Next slide, please. So for the recommendation engine we built, it's an out-of-box multimodal recommenders that we combined both collaborative filtering results and content together to provide better search experience. Some typical use cases is like we can use this engine to build recommenders to recommend items for user. For example, we can select items that user likely to buy based on past click or purchase behavior, and we can put this list on the sidebar or boost it during the search directly. Or we can directly use the connection between query and item digging from the query log to build a recommender for recommending item for query that we can use directly using search to help boost item based on query history. Two side products we get from this recommendation engine is item-to-item similarity matrix. For example, users who are interested in item like X we're also interested in items like Y and Z, and we can put it in the sidebar. Also, we have query-to-query similarity matrix that can help us suggest the similar queries to provide query expansion functionality. And recently, we made a lot of improvement on the UI and the pipeline side, so that the pipeline and Spark job schedulers, and visualizations, all these components are stitched together for very easy implementation, which only take a few clicks. Next slide, please.
Hey, Chow. I think you're cutting out a bit.
I'm cutting out. I'm Job.
Hey, Chow.
Yes?
Your audio is cutting out quite a bit.
Okay. So I should dial in again? Hello?
No, just speak up. I think I can hear it fine.
Okay. Sorry about that. So on the query relevancy and the query intent side, we have query intent classification using either random forest or logistic regression. And then we provide functionality with automatic model tuning and evaluation to help automatically select the best model, so that the actual user don't need to have a very extensive data science background to perform the modeling. A few interesting use cases for this kind of classification model is, for example, we can predict a product category of an incoming query to help reduce ambiguity. For example, users search for word iPad, and then it's likely the products such as iPad case come up even in the top list. And if we insert a model which can predict the query iPad have high likelihood related to products within the electronic category rather than the accessory category, and then we can definitely have better, more focused search results. This is an example on query time. The second example that we can use on index time, we can predict the category of a set of new products that we want to be incorporated into the existing catalog. And usually people have to use to build up this catalog list manually. But if we have a model can automatically do that, it can largely reduce the manual work. We also incorporate Solr learning to rank model that can be easily incorporated in pipeline, so that we can borrow the external features such as some metadata, such as the price, the sales rank, in addition to the text to help do the re-ranking. And there are several models we provide that both linear and nonlinear models, for example, SVM, lab linear, or rank lib. Next slide, please. In machine learning and supervised learning play a central role during data exploration process if you don't have labels for training data. Some typical use cases, for example, in the financial industry, people may want to automatically group the emails and news into groups that share the same topic. And the use cases in some law firms and healthcare industry is like we can find similar topic research articles. On the e-commerce side, we can group product reviews and product descriptions to help us automatically build some catalog. We provide a fully featured clustering module that can do automatic outlier detection, automatic decision about number of clusters, and automatic cluster topic detection. Also, we provide statistics so that you can perform re-ranking of documents based on its relevancy to the prospective topic. And again, we build the module based on the principle that minimum data science knowledge is needed to use the module, because in the back end, we have done extensive research to help choose the best set of models. And we have a good default parameter setting that generalizes very well. We have flexible pipelines to suit different needs. Also, in this clustering module, we have 2 in-house algorithms that help us separating us from other vendors. Next slide, please. Last but not least, we have the NLP Spark jobs using machine learning. This is that Andrew mentioned in the Query Explorer jobs. So, for example, we can perform automatic freeze detection using log likelihood, and then some frequently co-occurred terms can be labeled together. For example, ivory rock, interior panes, and Apache frequently occurred terms. Then if we embed it into search, it can provide better context. And we can also try to match a tail query to a head query or product name list based on the edit distance to do some automatic typo correction. And at last, we provide a word-to-vec model to generate synonym list automatically. So traditionally, these kind of synonym lists, phrase lists are usually built up manually over years. And if we can use machine learning to do that, it can reduce a lot of manual work, both at the list generating time and the updating phases. I think that's it. And for more information, please check out our website. And then as developers, each of us have some blogs talking about the details of how to use the module, and we may demo the modules later.
All right, and so I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and we're also going to have some time for questions. But I also want to make sure everyone's aware of our Lucene Revolution, our Lucene Solr Revolution conference, and let you know that Chao is teaching a course on data sciences applies to search at the Lucene Solr Revolution event in Vegas this September. Aside from that, they'll be training on the latest versions of Fusion and Solr and the newly acquired Twig kit, as well as a lot of advanced sessions on all of these sorts of things. If you're not there, then I just really don't understand what you're doing with your life. So thanks for attending, and we look forward to seeing you there. Now, do we have any questions?
Thanks, Andy. I have some questions that came in. Feel free to continue to add questions to the chat box. We'll get through what we can. And apologies, I as the chairperson had some audio issues earlier, but it sounds like everyone else was okay, so I'm glad. So I'm going to ask the questions, and then Andy or Chao, you guys can decide who wants to answer them. The first question we have is, machine learning requires some element of standardization of incoming data sets by way of canonical models to express the attributes and features of the data set. How does one connect a Lucidworks collection to the machine learning models?
So currently, most of the machine learning module will provide a focus on text. And then we have incorporated the Lucene analyzer into our Spark job. So all you need to do is to tell which column or which field your document is in which collection. And then the module can automatically read in the data and then do the pre-processing based on your Lucene config. We can do stemming, we can do stop words deletion, and then lowercase, and all kinds of stuff based on the Lucene analyzer.
Thank you. The next question is, so the Object Explorer makes it or will make it easier to construct orchestrated workflows via orchestrators like Oozie, Airflow, etc. I guess the question is, will the Object Explorer make it easier?
I don't think it really has much to do with that. It's mostly a way to explore data as it's contained inside of Fusion, as far as connecting Fuzi or other tools to it, yes, you can, but it doesn't really have much to do with the Object Explorer.
Thank you. The next question is, can you talk a bit about scheduler changes? Can we have a pre and post process to the scheduler?
So not out of the box. What you would do, so I guess what you're looking to do, I mean, really what the scheduler does is it posts to a REST API. So, you know, if you're trying to post the REST API and then based on the finishing of that post somewhere else, no, it doesn't offer that feature today.
Thank you. Any plans to include a command timeout for the JDBC data source?
I believe there is a timeout attribute that's been added in this release.
Okay, thank you. So some of the other questions you have are a little more detailed, so we'll have somebody follow up on those. If there are any outstanding questions that you didn't get a chance to ask during this session, you can feel free to email us at events@lucidworks.com. Thanks for joining us today. Everyone who registered for this session will receive a link to both the recording and the slides shortly. Thanks, Andy and Chow, and we hope everyone has a great day.